What's the buzz? This is Zeta Beetle, and welcome back to Galactic Swarm Squad. This episode will prove to be a rather interesting one. Not interesting in a particularly good way, but in a really strange way, per se. So, there's a challenge on here that completes even though I'm nowhere near the place where it's supposed to be completed at. So, get ready to scratch your heads as we go into this unsolved mystery of Coral Castle. Alright, before we go to that though, we have got another challenge to get to first. That happens to be Eliminations with common weapons. One of these is going to be the last one that I need, and thus it'll give me a it'll essentially give me a point for the competition. So, while when I get to that point, I'm going to have to increase the total by 1 at least. So, it looks like we are at Holly Hedges for this one. That's cool. And there's the common weapon that I accomplished the elimination with then. Very nice. Okay. Alrighty. So... basically, I'm just looking at my score sheet as well as doing all this, so there will be some pauses in commentary. So, somebody is shooting at me with a gun, and once I find them, I open fire myself, taking care of the last of the elimination challenge. So, with all that out of the way, let's move on to the next. As a direct continuation from the last round, or the last clip, this one focuses on collecting gold bars. So, this too gets completed, earning me my 14th point. Yeah, during the clip that we were watching last time, I was looking through and checking how many challenges I had done that I have written down on this score sheet. And so far, I have managed to get up to 13 points. However, once I get to the gold, as I've said before, I will have scored my 14th point. So, I'm still going at a pretty steady rate, guys. We are still doing good. So, that's pretty good, right? Right? But I digress. Let's move on to the round at hand, shall we? And essentially, what this boils down to is I search pretty much everywhere to find either an opponent or a chest or a safe or whatever. Well, actually, you know what? I was actually searching for a book. And like with pretty much every single time that I look back over this, during the game itself, I do not see the book in question. However, when looking through the round while editing it, I can see the book quite clearly. So, yeah, imagine my frustration here. Like, I and Marty Chester both, we have a serious the power of observation problem. Because we overlook the things during the live rounds that we end up seeing when the editing starts. So it always frustrates us too, to no end. So yeah, that's how that goes. I don't know what's taking the other two so long to get started. Like, they don't have much to do. They just need to commentate on what they are doing and how they go about it, and just post it onto YouTube. So they are really dragging their tails on the start, and we'll never know who really wins until they post their point of view. But there is the gold. And here we go. This is where the mystery takes place. So, the challenge here is swim at Lazy Lake. But that's not what I originally go for. What I'm actually going for is to signal the Coral Buddies. Essentially, what this comes out to is we are fanning the flames of a war between the fish people and the fishermen, like Turk and his rival. So yeah, we are essentially becoming instigators here. We're helping them out and making the other side angrier at us. So yeah. We never really see how this war pans out, because that's not really what the Battle Royale story is about. What that comes out to is the currently destabilized 0 point thanks to Galactus trying to siphon all of its energy. And, well, let's just say that it's about to collapse on itself again, like it did back in Season X. So, essentially, yeah, every other story and the quest lines, they don't really matter this season. They probably matter a bit more in Chapter 2, Season 8. But, for right now, they really don't. Unless, of course, they have a direct reference to what is going on, which only really starts at the tail end of Chapter 2, Season 6. In this season, it's pretty well Bounty Hunter until the season ends, and then the next season starts with how the previous season was supposed to end. The Zero Crisis finale. Which is when I and Jester were introduced to the Foundation. And due to our fascination with the high-tech 7, he was pretty well an instant hit. And while we eventually got him back in Chapter 3, Season 1, we never really liked him for the same reason as everyone else liked him. See, everyone else liked him because he was Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. We liked him because he had a high-tech suit of armor, like the rest of the Seven, and thus looked awesome while wearing it. So, suffice it to say, we will never take that helmet off. So, sorry, you don't get to see that eyebrow raise from us. Although, I guess if you requested it enough, maybe. But, only in that situation. And, yeah. So here is where the strangest thing happens. It completes here, but it was supposed to be at Lazy Lake. Confused? With me skydiving here, it's pretty safe to say that I ultimately failed to complete the Signal Coral Buddies that round. However, this time, I actually do succeed in that. So, that is 1/3 of the point. And I do believe that there's going to be a continuation after this. I forget exactly if that's the case, but yeah, that's I have never seen those elevators that actually come up. Like, okay. This is where I started actually trying to signal the Coral Buddies. But I thought that it was a sound signal. And then I take out what appeared to be a Groot with my pickaxe. What a upset. Because they had a tactical shotgun, whereas I had only my pickaxe. So, I'm actually kind of surprised that I did not get banned here. Of course, if it was a bot, they don't really have any emotion. So, I'm going to chalk it down to either A, it was a bot and didn't even think about doing so, or B, a player actually did try and report me, but Epic just threw it out the window because it was a standard pickaxing, and not any result of foul play. So there we go. There's signal number 1. Not a conch signal as I had figured, but it was a shell with a light beacon. Not entirely sure what Coral is going to do, but given that some species are actually sentient, including some that you can purchase alongside a glider, they would have thought of something. Whether they were stationary or whether they could actually move. So, I grab all these in my search for the next shell beacon. But I decide to clip it after figuring, alright, there's no way I'm going to be able to find it this round. So, yeah, that's I dare say that was my thought process behind saving it as soon as I did. Because the end is rapidly approaching, and I'm grabbing me some mini potions here before ultimately saving it right here after I take this medkit. or daring, either or. As I predicted, there was a continuation from that clip, so this challenge is essentially a one-shot. However, the thing is, I didn't do it in that clip, if that makes sense. So, essentially, the thing is, I just split it into 1/3, and this is the remaining 2/3. So, yeah. I do hear the corals, I do hear the coral, doing their little tune. There is a little bit of an Easter egg on this game, when you, visit certain parts of, Coral Castle, and before it, Coral Cove. That is to say, you can hear certain parts of the choral chorus, in, each part of the island. Like, you can hear their singing in one part, and the parts of the instrumentals in other parts. And it's different every time. Well, like, it's different in different parts of the island, that's what I'm trying to say. There was something similar in Chapter 2, but neither I nor Jester could actually, well, I say Chapter 2, I meant Chapter 3. Anyway, I got that shell opened up and the beacon sent out. So, we move along to the third and final, which just so happens to be right up ahead. And I know this because the clip is about to end. So, there we go. That's it. This, however, was not predicted. Instead of cutting it in 2, I actually cut it in 3. So, this time, I am going to survive the final storm phase that I needed to put me up to 17 points. So, the reason that I keep bringing up how many points I have is because this is a competition series between myself and Jester and the other two, who have yet to even post their first episode of the series. So, yeah. It may be a while before we actually know the winner of the score war. So, as I make my way across this, ocean? Yeah, as I make my way through this part of the ocean, I end up completing the storm phase challenge and saving this clip as well. Alrighty, so this does look like a continuation of something. Quite possibly the clip where I got all of that done just a few short minutes ago. So this one is going for assault rifle eliminations. But, as an added bonus, I do get a legacy here, which is this game's replacement for, or rather, Battle Royale mode's replacement for achievements. Essentially, the legacy in question is called cryptocurrency, and the challenge is to collect all of the purple coins that pop out of the main purple coin that you touch. As you can expect, getting all of them will give you a significant amount of XP. So I decided to try and grab this XP coin, all of the XP fragments, because I was really going for the XP here, trying to get to a full battle pass as normal. And it's kind of a fun challenge when you go after all of those coins. And I celebrated because that was my first time ever having collected all of the purple coin fragments that came out of that coin. So I was a really happy beetle that day. Now, if only legacies counted, that would actually make me happy right now, because that would have gotten me my 18th point. However, the only thing we're really counting here are challenges and maybe wins. We'll have to check and see once the series finishes for all 4 competitors. But we know for sure we are counting challenges. So that's the main criteria that all 4 of us go for. And we generally stick to our usual expertise. There are a few exceptions. Like, I have evolved past my original mindset to hide by this point. Instead, going after my opponents semi-aggressively. There are times where I do camp and get some supplies, which is actually, I mean, come on guys, it's smart to do something like that. So I've tried going the aggressive route on at least one occasion, and aside from right then, it usually never works. But since I have gotten better by this point, I am seeing a increase of my success rate whenever I go for a slightly more aggressive strategy. Within reason, I am aggressive. Usually when the situation or challenge demands it. Otherwise, I just spend more time preparing and camping. You can call this the coward's route all you want, but I'm not changing one iota. I have found a strategy that mostly works for me, and unless I can find something that works even better, I'm gonna be sticking with this strategy for a while. Alright. So here's where the aggressive strategy doesn't work. Against guys like these, who have better weapons or better skill. I almost managed to take that guy down, but this guy finishes him off for me. Oh well. And that seems to be about it for this episode. Join me in the next one when I collect gnomes at Fort Crumpet, destroy sofas, beds, or chairs, bury gnomes at Pleasant Park, search chests at Slurpy Swamp, and that's about it. So, thank you so much for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you all next time. Until then... Adios, amigos.